We really have to talk about this latest Dangers in My Heart episode because episode 15 is the biggest piece of development. And it feels like we're probably saying that a lot, especially with like the ending of season 1, the beginning of season 2. It's so mind-blowing to look at how much of a just insane chuny this boy was. That by episode 15, he boldly admits, even if he gets a little schoolgirl embarrassed afterwards, to his sister, I want to be Yamada's boyfriend. And I'm like, hold up, because my gut reaction said maybe by the end of season 2 or in the beginning areas of a season 3, I could potentially see a relationship brewing. And with Valentine's Day approaching, I wouldn't be shocked if we do go the route, even if they don't officially get into being a couple, him potentially admitting his feelings to her out loud. And I don't know, my gut still says by the end of season 2, but the fact that we're at this point, that even throughout an episode, and I think this is what makes this show so special, is that you often have these characters with low self-esteems. And I've never really found that an issue with our boy, but Ichikawa, like throughout an episode like this, thinks like he shouldn't go over there, or he doesn't fit in, or are we even friends? You know, that type of dialogue can get insufferable, or infuriating, or feel like, what the hell, we had all this development, you know you guys are friends. But I think the thing about a show like this is they actually go the route of not letting that remain past an episode. Because by the end of this episode, he's back to saying, I should go for what I want. I should accept that this is that. It's not one of those situations where all throughout the episode he talks down on himself and then we enter next week and, you know, we just do the same thing over. He was nervous because he bumped into her friends and that made him kind of question everything. But by the end of this episode and them hanging out, he was able to accept what he does want, and that's why he was able to talk to his sister. So he managed to continue to progress his character while making a realistic self-loathing or self-confidence issue with a character who really started out at the lowest of the low in terms of his own opinion on himself. This was major progress, major development, and honestly has me a little shook on how soon a confession might actually pop up. But we're getting there. I have a full live reaction to today's wonderful Dangers in My Heart episode over on my Patreon, so if you'd like to see my full uncut thoughts, they're over there if you're interested. This was a great episode. I thought last week was just so perfect. This one, equally so, maybe a bit more, I don't know, but it was comedy gold. Moiko just, I think she's my favorite character. I don't know, because now the dad might be my favorite character. It's hard to say. But she is such a wing woman. Maybe she goes a little too extreme, which is a good thing that Yamada has other friends who can maybe get a little scream out in the middle of the room so the facade doesn't continue, because ultimately they end up dating, her and Ichikawa, because, well, coming over, mom starts to get into a little more strict mode. Why is there a boy? And obviously we need to cover our asses a little bit, but the idea of the jealousy with Yamada obviously not enjoying that, but not letting it last to the point that it's a real love triangle. Like, the love triangle exists for the story and for a bit of fun, but most importantly so both of these two will start admitting their feelings a bit better. But the dad had to be the most unexpected addition. I knew he was going to be sweet. I knew that from the first time we got teased with him in the elevator. You don't actually make someone like 7-8 feet tall with a bit of blood on their shirt and actually have them be a crazy psychopath in the concept of a show like this. It just doesn't make sense. But the idea that we stumble in, I thought they were going to go the route that like every time he comes over, he'd bump into him and it would take like 2 seasons before we officially met him. No, we come in, the girls are freaking out. Apparently he's a chef, right? And honestly, man, the danger, the true danger, it's not Ichikawa, it's not Yamada, it's this man's death glare, because even I was a little shook at thinking that. I was like, no, he has to be okay, but even I'm a little freaked out right now. The fact that he just wanted a gamer pal because he's like, no one in here plays games with me, and I'm like, he's the golden retriever husband, bro. He just wants someone to game with, and the fact that you have this like family scene, and I'm like, he basically has his girlfriend wrapped around him, mother-in-law, father-in-law. How did we get to this point? They even tease us with a fake pregnancy image and the fact that the sister thinks he has a harem. I'm just like, how does this show get funnier, more wholesome, and actually continue the development as well as they are? I don't know, but they're a master at that formula. And the fact that the only thing this man had to say when Yamada confronts the parents, hey, what did you think of my friends? Most importantly, she wants to know, what did you think of who I want to date? And he's like, I didn't get his gamer code. He was upset because he didn't get a gamer tag. He wants to play with his new pal because he wants to play video games with... My boy doesn't even realize he doesn't need to freak out. Like, he's basically saying, I'll come back over to your home, like, once it's cooled down. Like give me 10 years and I'll pop over. Buddy could come over every single day going forward, and this dad's gonna give him a big pat on the back, probably get him a cola, and said, let's game. He's set. The mom, it can be a bit of a tipsy-turvy one, because every time it kind of was like, wait, is he here for my daughter, or is he actually dating? She was like very wholesome about it when it wasn't her daughter, and then she got a little more, should I stab a fool? It kind of had that vibe, but I think by the end the mom came around as well. I think it helped because she had a conversation with, obviously, his mother back in season 1 at the parent-teacher conference, and of course Yamada hypes him up all the time. So really he's set, but his fear makes a lot of sense given all this. And I think it's the little moments with characters like even Yamada, who I've constantly mentioned this throughout my videos. We may never get inside her actual head, we don't hear her internal thoughts the same way we do with Ichikawa, but we always know how she's feeling and we always see the same level of development. The idea that they all came over to, because Valentine's Day is approaching, right? And they practice making their sweets. He has a couple of criticisms, but he's like, you know what, that's just my opinion. We see her reading a book, and she was very happy about what he said because she wants to make him the perfect chocolates, right? So she's going to do her homework, she's going to practice, so that come Valentine's Day, he'll get something that he absolutely loves because she's trying to win over his heart. And as they say, a way to a man's heart sometimes is through their stomach, and I don't think our boy's going to be any different. I'm absolutely blown away by how already season 2 is making season 1 look good in comparison. And that's not saying that, oh, actually in hindsight, season 1 wasn't as good. No, I recently watched all of season 1. This is all still fresh in my mind. It's just seeing now how good the development is and that the side cast is legitimately interesting and supportive. Not in the way that they all want to be best friends with Ichikawa, but more so, we're friends with Yamada. We see this boy isn't bad for her. And we very much clearly see when she's upset because we're pretending these two are in a relationship, I don't want my friend hurt. They're all equally supportive in different ways, and the fact that now we kind of have an in with her parents, there's a lot more opportunity with going over there to visit her, play games with the dad, which I can't wait to see her jealous of her father because he gets to spend more time with Ichikawa than she does. You know that's gonna happen. But what a sweet, hilarious episode that somehow made Yamada pregnant and Ichikawa have a harem all in one. This was a 10 out of 10 episode. Let me know what you thought though down below, because this was some major development, especially because he admitted out loud to a person that he wants to date her. That's pretty big moves for a boy who was ready to stab a fool in the first episode. So let me know what you're feeling down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, we have a full live reaction over on my Patreon, and while you're over there, you also get a video shout out. Alright, so today we have Loken, Lezik Sykes, Birdnest, and Gomison, so I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.